Just hours after he posted online, "Be cool," President Trump backed off most of his reciprocal tariffs with a 90-day pause. China is an exemption with a more exception. There we go, with a now 125% tariff. The president's reversal sent the Dow Jones Industrial Average up more than 2,900 points, and the S&P 500 had its biggest one-day gain since 2008. The Democrats say he caved. Sinclair's Atra El-Nashar reports.
After digging in his heels and saying his worldwide tariffs are here to stay, President Trump shocking many Wednesday afternoon by putting out a Truth Social post announcing he's putting a 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs on trading partners, except for China.
No other president would have done what I did, and it had to be done.
And we've just been overwhelmed by the response from mostly our allies who want to come and negotiate in good faith.
For China, President Trump now putting a 125% import tax on Chinese goods coming into the U.S. after China raised tariffs on American goods to 84% starting April 10th.
As I said a week ago today, don't retaliate, hold your ground, let's see what happens. And China, they kept escalating and escalating.
The pause on reciprocal tariffs on other trading partners may, for now, ease fears of congressional Republicans worried about political survival as their constituents are already worried about taking a financial hit.
As I talk to my farmers, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty, because when we get into a trade war, usually the first pawn in the trade war is agriculture.
In his post, the president says, at some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. China said Tuesday, should the U.S. persist in this reckless course, China will respond resolutely until the end.
What I'm certain of is that what China is doing will affect their economy much more than it will ours.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he thinks this will ultimately be resolved between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping.
China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. You know, it's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people.
But that could be complicated by even more tariffs just around the corner.
So we're going to be announcing very shortly a major tariff on pharmaceuticals, and when they hear that, they will leave China, they will leave other places.
Trump's pause caught many here in Congress off guard. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer called it all chaos and said the president essentially caved to market pressure. And one Republican source also told me he thinks the president got nervous by all the stock market losses. But Congresswoman Lisa McClain, she's the number 4 House Republican, she told me this is essentially the art of the deal, that the president will always make his expectations clear, but he will never reveal what he won't do. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atra El-Nashar.